Hey, and good morning, everybody. I usually say, hey, it's sunny at Market Common, all this glass out front, but today it's raining, but it's all good. Glad to be with you. We're talking about conflict and challenging people. And you may say, well, Richard, we get along good. Conflict and challenging people, maybe that's an HR thing. It's not really, how does that fit into me? I'm not managing a team, I'm not supervising. How does that fit? Well, let me just ask you this. If you feel like a high level team, and you may be a Patriots fan or not, I'm not really, but they're obviously a high level team, right? Somebody told me yesterday they were statistically the best team in football. So, anyway, I don't know. But here's the thing. Do you think when a mistake's made on the field that they wait to get back to the sidelines for the coach to make a correction? Okay, yeah, the answer to that is no, they don't. What happens? Mistakes made on the field. Next play, what happens? What's happening in between plays?
Got to fix it right now.
Yeah, the teammates, the guys on the field are in the huddle and they're talking to each other, and I promise you that they are either gently offering offering constructive criticism, or they're very harshly saying, get it in gear, right? I'm not even going to use the words they're probably using on the field. But you see, the thing that's happening is they're helping each other to get better as a team. And so that's when we're talking about conflict and challenging people, that's what I want you to kind of understand, that really high functioning teams, the coach is not the one, the supervisor, if you will, in banking is not the one who is there to make the correction. A high functioning team, the players, the employees, you're a leader, you influence people, but you're going to help each other. And so that's kind of where we're at in this series. For you to understand, you're a leader, you have influence, and it doesn't matter if you've got the role or not. Just skip the role, all right? It doesn't matter what your title is. Skip all that and look at it from the standpoint of our team gets better when we help each other. And so decisions are best made at the lowest level, closest to the problem. So if there's an attitude issue, all right, if there's a procedural issue or a policy issue that you can address right at the source, you and another person on the team, that's where you need to address it at. And that keeps you at a highly functioning level. So let's talk about it from this standpoint. So how do you help team members? We're going to make mistakes. How do you help team members move past mistakes, stop talking negatively to themselves or about situations, and move forward? I just want to share this with you a little bit. But anybody got any ideas on that? How do you do that? How do you move past negative? Does anybody talk negative to themselves? Y'all don't? Yeah. You don't ever call yourself stupid or an idiot or boy that was dumb, or anybody ever do that?
Huh? Not too often.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, well, a lot of people do, and I catch myself doing that sometimes. I'll forget something and go into a room to get something and walk right by it and forget it and have to go back and go, man, that was so dumb. But here's the thing, when we're talking negative to ourselves, we are really kind of creating a mindset for ourselves. So here's a little thing I'm going to share with you, and it's the 24-hour rule. John Maxwell came up with it, but the 24-hour rule says this: if anything negative happens to you, you got 24 hours to get over it. Okay? If anything positive happens to you, you got 24 hours to get over it. All right? You can't celebrate too long because what? Life moves on and the next opportunity's out there. But you can't cry over it very long either, because guess what? That next opportunity's out there. So you got to get up and get ready for it. So the 24-hour rule. So I just want to tell you this: what you tell yourself every day is either going to lift you up or it's going to tear you down. And so when you're talking about self-talk, if you hear one of your teammates kind of hard on themselves sometimes, or beating themselves up about something, you need to jump in. All right? You need to jump in and say, hey, you're not stupid. My wife said yesterday, very same thing. She said, I am so stupid. I said, no, you're not. You're incredibly intelligent, smart, and beautiful. Do not say you're stupid. And she goes, well, I didn't really mean it. And I said, I know, but you can't say it, all right? You can't articulate it. You've got to knock that out and speak those positive things to you. So here's the thing. Tony Robbins says this: whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is exactly what you're going to experience in your life. So if you think I can't, then you won't, right? But if you think you can, then you will. Yeah, absolutely. So do y'all need caffeine? I've had plenty of caffeine. Do y'all need caffeine? Okay, here we go. All right, so at what point do you turn your energy away? This is a tough one here. At what point do you turn your energy away from low performers to those who want to grow? Think about that. That's a tough one, isn't it? Does everybody make the grade on your team every time? Do you bring team members in that just don't work out sometimes? Absolutely. We all do. Listen, as your team grows, as the bank expands, as opportunities arise and people move around in the organization, new people are brought on board or other people from other areas are brought on board. And here's the bottom line. It doesn't always work out. So here's the thing. Some people can't go and some people just don't want to go. They don't want to improve. They don't want to get better. They don't want to be a part of a highly functioning team. And so here's the thing. Great things never come from comfort zones. So what happens is that a lot of times people come on board and they just like to be comfortable. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way I like to do it. I'm comfortable with this. I know how to do it. This is all I'm going to do. Right? So they're not growing. They're not being challenged and they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. Listen, here's what's going to happen. As your team grows, you're going to get pushed out of your comfort zone, right? All of a sudden, you've never opened an account before, but you're going to be, you need to try to open an account, right? I've never talked to somebody about a loan before, but here, they just need to talk about this. I've never done that kind of loan before. Well, good. Go talk to them, right? So you get out of your comfort zone. Maybe I hadn't ran a teller window in years. Well, guess what? Just get back there. So, you see what I mean? You get out of your comfort zone. But here's the thing. If you're going to be a highly functioning team, you got to get out of your comfort zone. That's the only place you're going to grow. Okay, only place you grow. So your job as a leader is to give people a chance. So all of your leaders, when people come on board, your job is to give them a chance. Help people in any way that you possibly can. And but here's the thing: who you spend your time and energy with are the ones who usually stay. So who do you want to spend your time with? High performers who are on board, or low performers who complain and criticize? So here's the point in all this, is if you're going to be a highly functioning team, your focus needs to be on people that are going to be high performers. The thing is, there are going to be people who come on board that are low performers. Well, you can't invest but so much time and effort in people who just don't want to do it, right? They just don't want to put the effort in. They just don't want to learn. They just don't want to do anything new or different. Well, there may not work out. Now, I realize that every one of you are sitting here saying, well, that's not my call. Well, this is good information for you because one day it may be your call. And so what I'm trying to do is help you to begin to recognize the difference between a high performer and a low performer. And I hope you're saying, well, I want to be a high performer, right? Well, the thing is, if you're a high performer, then people are going to want to invest time in you, and you should appreciate that. But if you're a low performer, guess what? Why would people want to spend time investing in you to make you better if that's not what you want? Does that make sense to everybody? So the thing is, I can't tell you how many times in my banking career somebody say, oh, well, that's his pet. Oh, well, that's her, special person or whatever. Because the attention and the time and effort were being poured into somebody. Well, guess what? In reality, that person is probably a high performer, and they're putting their money, their time, effort, and energy into somebody who's going to move forward. The person who's whining about not getting the attention is probably the low performer. They're the ones who aren't really doing anything and getting anybody's attention, but whining because they aren't getting the attention and the opportunities. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, y'all looked at me like that was painful. Okay, so here we go. Ask the how questions. Here's the point. Ask the how questions. How much energy, how much time, how much of your focus, how much of your joy, how much of your resources are going to be put into people who are low performers? Those are the how questions. And if you're finding out that you're putting a lot of energy into low performers, you're probably then costing your branch. Okay? You're probably costing your branch. Here's the thing. If it won't work, it won't work. The role doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your role is, but it just doesn't work. So don't try to save the relationship. Be courageous and do what is right. All right? That's the point. Give them the opportunity to move down the road or change positions in the bank or do something different. But if it isn't working, fix it, all right? Just fix it. Because the worst thing you can do is keep somebody in a position where they just don't want to be, right? Think about this. Let's go back to New England Patriots. Let's just say that the right tackle on offense keeps missing blocks and Tom Brady keeps getting tackled. What are they going to do?
Bench him.
How quickly will they bench him?
Pretty quick.
Pretty quick. Yeah, absolutely. Probably before the series is over with. He misses 2 blocks, probably third play, he's probably on the bench. Right? That quick. So think about it in banking. If you've got somebody that's a low performer, what needs to happen? A change needs to be made, right? A change needs to be made. One of the worst things I see in banking happen on a regular basis is we hold on to low performers. You know, that they show up to work, they're nice people, they just don't get the job done. But we hang on to them. We hang on to them and it causes issues. Here's what George, I just threw this in for fun. George Carlin, you may be a fan or not, but here's what he said. He says, "Oh, you hate your job. Why didn't you say so? There's a support group for that. It's called Everybody, and they meet down at the bar." Okay? So the point is that we need to make sure we're inspiring our team to own their career, not just get a paycheck. Does that make sense? Listen, if I think I'm going somewhere in the bank, you think I'm going to be a little bit more excited and a little bit more enthusiastic and a little bit more focused than somebody who's thinking, this is all I'm going to ever do? It's just a paycheck? Absolutely. I mean, don't raise your hand, but I mean, you probably all know people. Even here at Anderson Brothers, you probably know some people who are just here for a paycheck, right? Don't name names, all right? But it's probably true. But you also know people who are here that are all in. And you go, wow, man, they're going places. You know, that you know it, and guess what? They know it, right? Because that's where they're focused at. So think about it. You know, I know some of you don't have a pen, but make a mental note here. And when I'm done talking, you need to write this down. All right, this is really cool. All right, and this is valuable. No job has. Well, it's already written down for you, so it's all good. No job has a future. Only people have a future. Jobs in banking are going to change. As banking changes, it's going to change. I mean, think about it. I mean, you know, drive-ups are almost a thing of the past, right? How many, do y'all have a lot of drive-up traffic? Some, yeah. But guess where it's going? Think about teller transactions. When I first started in banking, there was no, oh boy, I'm dating myself, but there was no such thing as ATMs, right? Guess how many teller transactions we had? Yeah, we were bombed with teller transactions. But guess what happened after ATMs came? Teller transactions. Now we've got online banking. Guess what's happening to teller transactions? You see what I mean? Comparatively speaking. So things change, okay? Things change. So here's the thing. Opportunities don't happen. You create them. So you have to prepare for the opportunity. So make sure you're doing that. Okay, here's the thing. If you're creating opportunities, you have to share your passion. This is helping people be inspired. You've got to share your passion. If you're passionate about banking, you're passionate about helping people, you're passionate about making a difference in the community, you're passionate about creating a great place to work, guess what? You've got to share that with people. And again, we're trying to create people who are here not just for a paycheck, but who are here for a career, right? And so do that. Paint the future, right? Help people see what opportunities are down the road. Think about it. Your bank's growing, right? Y'all are adding branches. Things are happening. Well, if that's happening, guess what? There's a future. There's opportunities. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to get there? I mean, when you start asking people and talking to people, say, listen, you can do things here. You can go places here. What is it that you see yourself doing? And when you start painting that picture for the future, then it becomes more than just a paycheck, right? If I think I've got no door to walk through, guess what? I'm probably not going to get up and move. But if I think there's some doors for me to knock on and open and move through, I'm probably going to be a little more inspired, wouldn't you think? Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. Help them see their role and the difference that it makes. Every job at the bank matters, right? Every job. It doesn't matter how great Nate may be in terms of his commercial lending ability, his relational skills, all that is going to be supported by how somebody's treated on the phone, how they're treated when they open an account, how they're treated when they make a deposit or cash a check, or how the fee that they want waived is handled. All of that makes a huge difference, right? So I've had customers before that were some of my best customers and moved part of their business because we didn't waive a wire transfer fee. The CSR refused to waive the fee. Didn't look out on the system to see what kind of balances they carried with us. Didn't really look. Just went by the policy. Just said we don't waive fees. Well, guess what? There's exceptions to every policy, right? So the point is that I had $5 million loaned out to this guy, and we lost part of his business over a $35 fee. You see what I mean? So every role matters. We help each other do our jobs better because we're all managing the relationship. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. All right. So here's something that Brian Tracy said. He says your biggest opportunity probably lies under your own feet, in your current job, industry, education, experience, or interest. It's probably right here staring at you is your biggest opportunity. But what do a lot of us do? We miss it, don't we? We miss it. Why do we miss it? Because we don't prepare for it. Listen, if you're not seeing the opportunity, you're probably not preparing for the opportunity. But it's got to be the other way around. If somebody comes up and says, hey, look, you've got a chance to, let's just say somebody comes to Nate and they say, Nate, man, you're doing really good. You got a chance to be a regional VP in this bank. They just painted a picture for Nate, right? So now what's Nate got in his mind? So now what's he going to begin to do? Probably prepare for that opportunity, right? Well, think about this. Think about this. There's opportunity here at the bank. So why not begin to prepare even before you see the opportunity? It doesn't have to be spelled out to you, but people will see what you want to do. When I was in banking at one point in time, I was doing, they put me in the credit department. I was doing credit analysis. And as I'm doing credit analysis, I started just cranking them out. High quality credit analysis, just cranking them out. I was doing 10 a week. Now I was putting a lot of hours in, but I was doing 10 a week. Well, what do you think? I had no idea where I was going in banking. I wanted to be in lending, but I had no idea what I was doing. But what did the chief credit officer see?
Working hard, putting in the work.
Yeah, not only does this guy have a good understanding of credit, but this guy works, right? So what was I doing? I didn't know where I was going, but what was I doing? I knew something was coming my way. So I was preparing for that opportunity. So that's the thing. Prepare and help other people see that there's opportunity and to be preparing for it. Challenge them to keep growing. Okay, challenge them to keep growing. All right, last page here. I had 3 pages today. What was up with that? I must have got happy. All right, so how do you lead people who are more talented, better leaders, and more knowledgeable than you? You're going to bump into those, right? I can't tell you the number of people that I've seen in my banking career when highly talented people came on the team, people turned off to them. I might have told you the story before, but when I was a freshman in college, I was in the mailroom, and there were 2 full-time people that worked in the mailroom. Well, when they brought me into the mailroom, I was part-time because I went to school in the morning, so I only got afternoons to work. But guess what I did? I got all of the work done in a half day. And you had 2 full-time people doing it after that. Now, was I just sitting around drinking coffee or Pepsi-Cola? No, I replaced 2 full-time people and got it done in half a day. I was hustling. So guess what people in operations started seeing? What do you think?
So your value.
No, they didn't see my value. Good answer, though. I like that answer. Positive answer. No. What? A lady came up to me. She'd been working there about 25 years. She came up to me and she said, who do you think you are? Why would she say that to me?
You're threatening to lay off.
Yeah, I was working too hard. I mean, nobody here works this hard, right? I mean, what are you doing? She said, you run around here like you got a cape on. Well, I didn't have time to talk to her and waste my time with her. So you know what I told her? I said, I'm going to be your boss one day. I just kept walking. She just stood there. Guess what?
You did.
I was. Yeah. So here's the point that I'm making to you. Prepare for the opportunity, all right? And when people who are more talented, maybe smarter, maybe more knowledgeable, just kind of got the gift or whatever it is, they come on board, don't turn on them. All right? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people, my own experience, turn on people. Listen, when they come on board, be thankful for them because they're going to help move you and the bank forward. So here's the thing. Here's the truth. Your position does not matter to them. People who are going to operate at a high level are not going to look at your position. They're not concerned about your role. They see a much bigger picture. All right? So here's the thing. Admit you're not as good as they are. Because they know it anyway. All right? Don't fight it. Don't try to make them look bad and keep your spot. All right? Don't fight it, but listen, when a superstar comes on board, listen, support the superstar, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? All right, so here's the thing. Strategy, get the most influential person on your team to help the team. And when they help, give them credit, all right? So listen, if somebody comes on board and they're a little smarter or maybe they're a little sharper or they've got an area of expertise that you don't have, embrace them, all right? Let them help you. Learn from them. All right, we're looking at a potential pastor. I'm on a pastor search committee, and we're talking to somebody who's ahead of me. I mean, first conversation I had with him, I knew he was further along in leadership. He was further along spiritually. He was further along in accomplishments. He was further along in team building. I mean, I could see it very clearly. I mean, it was clear as that glass is to me. Right? I just knew he was ahead of me. Guess what? Do you think I'm threatened by him? I'm excited as I can be about this guy. I mean, I hope we can hire him because guess what? I'm going to learn from him. He's going to make me better. And that's the attitude that you got to have. And I'm out of time. You're going to have to read a little bit of these on your own here, but I just want to share this last thing. Let's do the two quotes. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that are going to unlock the door to your personal excellence. Okay? So, and down at the bottom, reaching your potential sets an environment for others to reach theirs. So I hope that I know we've talked about some kind of sensitive, kind of off-the-wall things a little bit today, but I hope it'll help you a little bit because it's certainly been something I've seen in my banking career, and so I hope it'll help you in yours. Thank you, guys. Hope y'all have a great day.
Thank you.